So I woke up this morning realizing how much this event meant to me. I've just been so emotional today, been on the verge of tears from being so excited and grateful that I get to do this, that I get to be involved in this. And there's so many people that made this event possible, but I'll get to that later. So, just to go over what these events are for, it's really twofold. The first is to create a platform for freestylers to have a space to perform, really share their message without it having a timer or be a battle or really need to have anybody else's expectation on it. Because a lot of times, especially I think in the commercial mecca of the world, freestyle translates into backflips and fouette turns and things like that. And you have 30 seconds, so how can you tell your life story in 30 seconds? Or even 10. So I wanted to create a spot for basically a carnival, but for the underground community and the freestyle community to also have a space, something to work for, destinations, without it being anyone else's expectation. You know? Feel me?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you can clap out like that. That makes me feel good. Right, I'm not on TV, I can actually hear you. So that's good. And then the second one is just a massive amount of misunderstanding about hip-hop in general, but about a lot of the dance styles, a lot of the urban street styles, popping and locking. A lot of people just don't understand them. And there's something beautiful underneath that. Part of it is because a lot of it was, it's just so new, it's just so newly created that this hasn't been written down yet. And also a lot of it's been just passed through word of mouth, like Native American culture, things like that. So there's something really cool inside of that confusion, but I want to get clear about it. So the other reason is to put a space for speakers who are legendary, pioneers, people who have paved the way for a lot of things, a lot of movements, a lot of people, to be able to speak their stories or what they went through so that you can understand that there's not a disconnect between the music and the dance and the people. And understand that everything that we do comes from our emotions, what we've been through, all the things we've experienced, what we've trained in. And everything under the sun has been done before. And understanding why this particular set of things happened to this particular kind of music. And try to translate that into something you can see. Feel me?
Yeah.
Kings and queens and lords of finesse. Asia 1, where you at? I'm coming up. I want the Thank you so much for being here. It's making me so comfortable. Next, we have my man, my homie, Popin P. He grew up in Fresno, California, and started down this road as a dancer by watching Soul Train and doing The Robot. Dancer, teacher, innovator, the list goes on and on. Popin P is a second-generation member of the Electric Boogaloos. Popin P has gone on to innovate styles and moves like Crazy Legs, E.T., Spider-Man, and Sleepy Style. Currently, Pete is helping spread popping and boogaloo knowledge all over the world with the other EB members. Give it up for Popin P, guys. It's an honor.
For both of you, actually, was it always so natural to keep on flowing, keep on going, or did you hit any roadblocks, and how did you deal with it?
You mean just in life?
Just dancing, have you ever had a moment where, wow, this is it's not the vision that I wanted? Have you had roadblocks?
Yeah, I could say this, I'm 42 years young, and I've been doing this a while, right? So, and people know me, because I'm a regular kind of B-girl. I might have been around the world, but I'm at your local practice spots. People see me around the break or the dance or at clubs or whatever, because, I could say this, when you do it because you really love it, nothing really ever stops you, right. People that don't dance anymore, I think maybe they stop loving it. I'm not really sure. I could say that physically things change, but when you love to do what you do, you figure it out. I think the dopest thing I can say about dance in general, and especially b-boying and b-girling, is that, you know, it's like going up a mountain. You get to a point where you think, damn, man, I'm so fresh right now. Like, I'm sick with it. Damn, I can't even stand it. And you feel it, and you know it, and it might be true. And then, you know, half a year later, you're like, damn, man, my stuff, I don't have it anymore. What's going on, yo? You know, and I think as somebody who's been through that all the time, that's kind of the journey, right? I mean, what do you think, Pete? That's for me, for example. I mean, I think keeping yourself relevant is a little different. I mean, if you want to be a performer or well-known, that's different, but, right?
You know, I mean, for me, that roadblock came in '94. I had started in the business when I was 16, and I'm 52 years young now. So when I started, and immediately getting in, being on television or going on tours or whatever, and back in 1978, 94 came about. I got bored. I mean, the industry had changed. There was really not that much going on for me at that time. After I did the movie Breaking in '84, I went overseas. I started working overseas because there wasn't any work here in America really for a street dancer. So then '94 came about, and I got bored. I went from weighing probably from dancing 165 pounds, to 210. Because I said I'm tired. I just want to just live a regular fat man life. I usually put my hand on my stomach like this. I just sit and watch television like this. I'm chilling. I'm good. And I went and got a regular job in '94. I was a supervisor at a department store selling dishware. If anybody, I tell you anything about skillets, pots, pans, sticky, what you need, I still understand. But it was '94 when that block came, and then my cousin Skeeter Rabbit, God rest his soul, he kidnapped me and brought me back. Actually, when you say kidnapped, actually he was doing a show in Las Vegas, and he kidnapped me all the way to Las Vegas. We talked 3-4 hours. I thought we just having a good conversation. The next thing I know, I was in Las Vegas doing a show. I didn't want to dance. I hated dancing. '94. Oh, make sure you listen.
When you say you hated dancing, why did you hate it? When you say that you hated dancing, why did you hate it?
Because I had, I thought I had done everything, and it got boring. It got really complacent. I came in when there was no agencies. I came in to, when you can get in, the fee to get into SAG was, I think I paid $400 and some to get into SAG. After was when I got in after it was $200 or something. And I just started seeing a lot of things that I was like, wow, this is really, getting to the point of just a bunch of, it was just, especially for street dancers, it wasn't really nothing going on. You had those peaks and valleys, but in the most thing of it was a lot of valleys for a lot of us. And when I had a family, and the wife even saying, hey, you trying to go to these auditions, it wasn't even auditions. It wasn't like I said, we had to go to Trade magazine, Hollywood Trade, to see what an audition was going on for a movie, a commercial, and we would just go and just kind of just bombard it. Not even so it was because there was no agencies. You had to sign with William Morrison or some big time agency that was mostly movies and actors and actresses and stuff like that. So I got bored, and it's got really, really on some. I know there's a lot of politics going on right now in the industry, but back then it was worse because there was no television shows, there was no dance movies, there was none of that back from even after breaking. So it just got complacent and stupid.
How did you come up with the name Electric Boogaloo?
Dallas, me and Dallas worked together. She's one of the first shows that that the Electric Boogaloo was part of his show that she was a part of dance class and going to Reno, Nevada. Originally, our name is because the original group is from Fresno, California. The original group name is Electronic Boogaloo Lockers. That's the original name for the Electric Boogaloo. When we auditioned for this show, particular show, when I was 16 years old, and we got down and the producer Jeff Kutash liked what we did. He hired us, but he said, "You guys are not lockers, and your name is too long. So I'm gonna change your name." And, this is what I remember, But and I remember sitting at we was at the studio, and he said, Electric Boogaloo, not Boogaloos, Boogaloo. That's in 1978 we became the Electric Boogaloo, and that's in short of it, that's how we got our name. Because a lot of people think we, like my brother Boogaloo Sam named the group Electric Boogaloo. No, it was some Jewish guy named Jeff Kutash that's actually named Electric Boogaloo. Oh yeah, Electric Boogaloo. Race. That's why we became Electric Boogaloo.
Could you talk about your after-school program and also how hip-hop is going in a very different direction right now? How do the kids respond to hip-hop dance nowadays?
Sure. Okay, so I started the after-school program in 2006, and I was mentored by a guy who actually came to a hip-hop event that was, I think it was thrown by DJ Dusk, rest in peace, over at UCLA. And this gentleman was there and stopped me afterwards, and he was like, you're real passionate about what you do with your community and stuff. Have you ever thought about taking it to the school system? I said, well, I don't really know how to do something like that. And he said, well, let's get together and build. And we had some building sessions, and he wasn't just an average dude. He actually was kind of an old school graffiti writer from LA who kind of went into the education department and said, this is such valuable. This is so valuable as a culture for these young people. So he helped me learn how to write programming that was standardized by the Board of Ed, because it was kind of complex in order to have it as part of the school system. And so we've had a pretty great run so far. I mean, it's been since 2006. We're actually we've been in over 200 schools throughout the LAUSD. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to create two things. I said, look, it's not enough to just go in and teach the kids how to break or pop or lock. I said, we're going to teach them a cultural program. So I came up in hip hop. When I call myself a B-girl, it's because it's the affiliation that I have with hip hop. It's not really only just because I break. And I said, to me, it's really important to teach these kids where this culture comes from so they can identify with it. So, we tell them, look, the first day of class, it's like, this culture was made up of kids just like you, that look just like you, from the same kind of neighborhoods, going through the same type of situations, so they start identifying with it more, and then we can teach the curriculum. So they know more than the average person out there probably what real hip hop is really about. And then the other thing that was important to me was the instructors that, because a lot of us, dance, street dance in general, we know is not sustainable yet, really, unless you're one of the rare few out there. So I said, look, I want to pay my instructors really well. I want to pay them $35 to $45 an hour, because we deserve that. We're working with young people, and we're instructing, and we're specialists and master craftsmen, some of us, at what we do. And so that was my other part. So I said, look, I'm not gonna, because enough of us have been approached, you want to teach a class for $12 an hour, a bunch of screaming kids, how long can you do that for, really? A couple of days, you're gonna be like, you know what, I can't show up today. So I wanted something that was gonna work, that was gonna be sustainable. So that's kind of, that was my goal, and it's worked out really well. And to be honest, I got kids that I started with in 2006 that are still breaking or into dance right now. So I can definitely say that the program that we're doing works, and it's getting more and more kids into dance.
and it's teaching them all types of empowerment, because again, it's not a studio dance class. We're not in there going, all right, 5, 6, 7, 8, let's go. No, it's like, how do you really approach this? What's your character like? What do you feel when you hear the music? You know what I'm saying? Like, show me an example of how you feel the rhythm. Because you can't teach somebody necessarily how to dance. You feel me?
Right.
You can just give them some guidelines and let them come out of their shell, because we can all dance, but so many people, especially kids, they get in the shell and they get confused. So the program is more about like finding your own feeling, so you know best how to react to the music that you're hearing.
Besides your hometown, where's one of your favorite places, cities or whatever, to get down, to jam, that you look forward to jamming in? Besides your hometown. Do you have one?
Nah, anywhere.
Anywhere?
Anywhere. I mean, for me, having the luxury to go all over the world.
Right. I meant
but
actually in America.
Oh, in America, my living room. Have you seen my videos of all I do? You see that is my favorite place to stay. My foyer in my house. That's the studio, the house. That's why, you know. So for me, you know, it's you know, what I mean, it's home. That's why I started. You know, when I first started learning popping, was my brother Boo Sam. We were in our bedroom with 2 sets of bunk beds, and we're in the middle at 16 with, you know, where we had the mirror, closet, and I used to practice right there, from there to the living room. Anyone that does private lessons with me, come to Vegas, we don't go to studios. It's rare that I take you to a studio. We're in my living room. That's what I know and only know. And that's why, you know, that's how I grew up into the person I am in this dance world. No mirrors. Straight getting busy, put the you know, back in the day, put the, you know, that record on. Record. I don't know about all that, you know, I was 8-track to, man, I was good. So yeah, the living room for me.
I'll probably say my favorite place is New York City. I don't know, man. I can say that when I go there, I never dance as good as I do when I go there, and I don't know, it's the feeling of it. I say New York for sure.
If you could, like from your own past experiences, things that you've gone through as a leader, what advice would you give to a leader to be like, to do the best job for the community? Like how can that person be of like the best service, or even if they're not like a leader of, you know, a lot of people, if they're just a leader of a few, like it doesn't matter, how can that person do the best, like be the most obedient or something?
Just speak the truth, man. I mean, you just gotta be true, you gotta be honest. Everybody wants to create a lot of controversy. I mean, I get really sick of the online stuff, man. It's like people hide behind their computers, talking smack, doing whatever. Like, I don't even deal with that kind of mentality. I just feel like, you know, you want to be of service, you know. I mean, I come from hip-hop, like I said. Hip-hop is a movement. And it's not enough just to be practicing one of the elements. You gotta be actively trying to better your community, because that's what it was created for. I mean, really, when Bam and them decided to like really mobilize around this so they could stop people from killing each other in gangs, that's a movement right there.
Right.
So to me, my biggest thing is if people can really realize right now we're living in like really desperate times. Young folks, the world, like, it needs hip hop. It needs that again. I mean, you know, when I think about this man right here, I think like, you know, in 94, 95, when we were doing the summit, it first started, and we were all in the same circle, you know, we was just dancing, and you know, it's like, it was that golden era time when it wasn't about really even what style you did. It was everybody was sort of a part of a movement, and that feeling, I think now with young folks, they really need. I would say you could do anything, try to mentor some young people about dance, and give them your ear, give them some of your time, because I feel like they need it. You know, they're just kind of out there. I feel thankful because we had hip hop. They, you know, the funk movement into hip hop, all this stuff that we went through into the golden era of hip hop, which was more my time because I wasn't really down with the 80s movement. But I could say it gave us knowledge of self. It gave us something to strive for, something to get good at. It gave us people to hang out with. know, that gave us the understanding of not to be afraid of somebody who's different than you. And if we can, you know, we can just reach out to the young people again with that, not like throwback, because they don't want to hear just how it was, but we can help them change things and make it what it should be, because the music isn't really catering to it. It's kind of a lot of disenfranchised people out there. It would be great if people could come together and work towards something, you know.
What you said. Now, you know, I mean, very, like she said, it's just being honest to yourself. And I put this, I'm from the era before, I preceded hip hop, you know, because again, me being from the West, and when hip hop, or what was going on in New York, you know, there was no information highway, internet, so I didn't know, we didn't know. You know, we were these young kids dancing on the streets, you know, just trying to, you know, it wasn't even about money, it wasn't even about any of that. But at the same time, being where I am now, and coming from where I come from, I'm always a person that just tell people, you know, just, like you say, be honest, be truthful to yourself. It is easy to lie to others. It's very, you know, when it's worse to lie to yourself about something, because a lot of people are just out here faking and lying and just trying to get it the quick way. And I understand now, I'm a person, I'm not this old cat around here and thinking of the old way. I understand, I embrace the YouTube, I'm a Facebook fanatic, because if I had Facebook back in the day in 1978, some of this stuff would be all right now, because I'm a person that you know, it's that instant. Once I push that button, everybody around the world reads my thoughts, and I have a lot to say, because before I never spoke. You would never got me up here and said, "You said 9, 8, 81, 82, 83." I would never be here talking to you, because I was that person who was trying to listen. More people, young generation right now, you need to start listening. When I came into the game, the people who was before me, whether it been the lockers, the other people that was just out here who was doing it way before me, when they started telling me about how it was, what it was, and how to do it, my ass sat down and closed my mouth and opened my ears, because I wanted to learn. There's too many people right now that speaks out of turn. Too many young cats speaking out of turn and don't know. But that's the thing. I think right now what people need to do is start back, you know, listening, learning, then, you know,